Here's the reality. The people that you look up to, the artists, the creators, the musicians, whoever you want to put into that category, those people, they struggle with feeling like a fraud. They struggle with feeling like an imposter, just like you and I. Sometimes, if you're like me, you get caught up in this space where you feel like you're the only person that feels like that. You're the only one going through it. But those people, at the level that they're creating, at the level of success that they've reached, they also feel like it too. The difference is that they don't allow those feelings to take over them. They embrace those feelings and they push past them. And because of that, they've been able to get to the place that they're at. I read in a recent article that Taylor Swift, the T Swift, right, the person that's at the highest that they are right now in the career, the pinnacle of where they've reached, the success that they've had. She even has admitted that there are moments where she feels like she's going to be quote unquote exposed because she's not as good as people think that she is. So somebody at that level, that anything she touches turns to gold, someone like that still is not void of the feeling of being an imposter, feeling like a fraud, feeling like a fake, like they're not qualified. So if someone at that level feels like that, then why wouldn't we feel like that too? So today I want to talk about this topic of imposter syndrome. What is it? Why do we go through it? Why is it even a feeling that we have to deal with, not only as creatives, but just as humans that are living on this life? And I think really the root of what imposter syndrome is, it's two things. Okay, it's comparison, but also it's growth. If you want to break that down, we have this baseline of where we feel like we should be in said thing or in said season of life because we are comparing ourselves to what we've seen, whether it be on social media, whether it be our friends and family, whatever the case may be. We have put this thought into our minds that we need to be at a place that we should be. And because we're not there yet, that's what gives us this feeling of not feeling like we should be where we're at, or we are this thing that we call ourselves. So for me, I'm a graphic designer. I also make content on social media. And a lot of times I can look at people that are my age or in my season of life, and they may be further along than I am, or they may be further along than I ever will be. And I can take those things and I can allow them, because of comparison, feel like I'm less than or feel like I'm not qualified. But the reality is that's not the case. We're all different people. We all have different experiences. There's no two people that are exactly the same. And because of that, I've been able to understand that when I feel these feelings of imposter syndrome, it's really rooted in that feeling of comparison, of thinking that I should be this person when really I should just focus on being me, whatever that looks like. We're all individuals. And so if my journey is my journey, I should be able to just internalize that and grow as best as I can. Wake up every day to say, how can I better myself as a person, and as someone who's willing to be okay with that feeling. But also, second thing that imposter syndrome is made up of is growth, right? And a lot of people don't really talk about that side of things, because if you don't feel qualified enough, how is that feeling like you're growing? Well, we've all heard of something called growing pains. If you watch any of my other videos, I always reference the gym because it's such an analogy, great analogy for life and for creativity. But just like going to the gym, if you went into the gym and you only lifted 5 pounds every time, those 5 pounds won't feel like anything to you if you are at a baseline of 10 pounds, right? But if you're at a baseline of 10 pounds and you start to lift 20 pounds, those 20 pounds, you're going to feel something. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel resistance. Why? Because you're stepping into new territory. You're stepping into new growth. You're stepping into a place you've never been to. So why would we expect to feel the same way in a new arena? That's not the case. If we step into somewhere new and we try something different and we go into a different space or a new season of life, of course, we're going to feel things we've never felt before. And that is called growth. We're going to feel discomfort. We're going to feel like we don't belong. We're going to feel inadequate. But the reality is, if we understand that those are the feelings that come with growth, then when it happens, we're more than likely to keep pushing forward because we're expecting it already. So I'm here to tell you that if you feel like an imposter, that's because you're growing, and that's a good thing. So I would say lean into that. Lean into that feeling of imposter syndrome, because it means that you're trying things, you're stretching yourself, you're creating things you never have, and you're creating at a level you never have. And because of that, it's gonna feel like I don't want to be here. But I promise you, when you continue down that path, you're gonna look back and see, okay, I really did grow, but I'm at this level where 5 years ago I dreamed of being here. I mean, that's my story. I was literally talking to a friend yesterday, and I'm like, man, there needs to be more moments where I just sit down and reflect and say, you know what, Derek, you're not where you used to, or you're not where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. So I'm not at this level that I want to be yet. But if I sit down for a moment and really reflect, man, I really have come a long way. I'm really creating at a level that I wish I was creating 5 years ago, but it took that time to just put in the effort. And now I'm like, man, the 5 year younger me would be so proud of where I am today, because I stuck with it and I just kept going. And so I'm telling you, this feeling of imposter syndrome is just you putting yourself out there. It's you getting uncomfortable. It's you saying, man, I'm not this yet, but I'm going to step into this because this is what I want to be. Anytime we try something new, we're going to lack confidence no matter what. There's 9 times out of 10, you're never going to go into a new space and feel 100% confident. You only gain confidence through experience. You gain confidence by doing the things you say you're going to do. And when you do those things, that's what builds up that callus to say, you know what? I don't care what people say. I know it because I've done it. And I think the more that we do things and we step into new places, the more that we'll learn to embrace feeling like a fraud, feeling like a failure, feeling like a fake, because we've experienced it enough. So we almost get confident with feeling like an imposter. And I think that when we can say that, you know what, I recognize this feeling, I know this feeling, then when it happens, we're not surprised by it. And when we're not surprised by it, that's when we're able to see the real growth, because we're continuing to push forward, even though we feel like we're not good enough. And so I just wanted to make this video because this is something I know all creatives deal with. I deal with it on a daily basis, and I uh, I get to a place sometimes where I forget what I'm saying right now. A lot of these videos I make are just reminders for myself that feeling like an imposter is part of the process. It's part of being a human, and it's part of being a creative. That feeling of, man, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm in this room of people, or this place that I don't know God's brought me to, and I'm only here because God's here, but I don't really feel like I should be here. But I promise you that you're there for a purpose. You're there for a reason. You're in this season for a purpose. And rather than trying to avoid this feeling of discomfort, of feeling like you're not good enough, why don't you try to lean into it next time and see what happens? Just fight those feelings of discomfort, because I promise you that all that pain and that feeling of not feeling like you're good enough, all those things are going to get you to a place where you're going to see growth. You're going to look back and tell yourself, man, I'm so glad I went through that. And so just like someone like Taylor Swift, who is at the top of her game right now, and anything she touches turns to gold, even someone like that deals with imposter syndrome. But look at what happens when you avoid all those haters. You avoid all those doubts, all those all those thoughts of not feeling good enough. Look what happens when you avoid those and you just keep going forward. You see success. You see things that you've never seen before. And so I hope that this video just sparks and challenges you that no matter what, keep going forward, keep pushing, because at the end of this feeling, you're going to see something you've never seen before. And just remember that the people that you look up to, they also feel like an imposter. The difference is that they kept going and they kept creating.